Hello world. If you're watching my videos, you probably noticed that I tend to speak to my AI when I do demos and also when I do vibe coding. And this is one of the biggest tips I give to everybody who wants to improve their AI interaction, and that is speak to your AI versus typing. This way, you are able to say exactly what's on your mind. You can speak to it without any hesitation or thought, and really able to share everything you want, as typing slows us down. Yes, for some people, it helps to think before they type, but for most of us, you can really speak to your AI naturally and give it all the context and all the information that you want to share to get the most out of your request. So today, I want to show you a couple of tools that will allow you to do that. I've been using WisprFlow, and I was a subscriber for a long time, and you can see that I've been using WhisprFlow quite heavily, and ever since I started using it, I reached around 600,000 words, and that's in few months of heavy usage. But you can see that over time, I'm stopped using it. I'm only using it occasionally on my phone, which is free right now, and I switched to different tools. So I want to show you one tool, and then Google did something last week that kind of changed my plan. So I'll show you also what you can get from Google. So you'll see two options, which one of them is fully private. You can run it locally. It's available for you to use. And the second, of course, with Google, is everything you say will be sent to Google, so less private. So the tool I wanted to show you today is called TypeWhisper. It's open source tool, free to use. There's some nuances with the license, but if you're using it for your own personal use, you're good, you can use it. It's available for Mac, for Windows, and also they have an alpha iPhone app. Hopefully soon they will have an Android, and I can try that as well. The tool is quite awesome. I use it a lot on multiple computers, and I'm using it beyond just talking to it. So it's currently installed on my computer, and it's very straightforward. You download that onto your Mac, you deploy it. Let me just show you how to do that. So I'll just say yes, and I'll save it. And this is again just the Mac instructions. And once it's done downloading, I will launch it. And all you need to do is drag it. I already have it installed, so you'll see that message. I will say no need to replace, everything is good, let's just keep. And once you launch it, you get the wizard. And I can show you the wizard even while I'm installed. So let me bring my system over here. And this is what you're gonna get when you launch it for the first time. It gives you information what it is, and you continue. And then it will ask you to grant access to some elements of your operating system. For example, on Mac, it needs microphone access and accessibility access. Then it will ask you how you want to trigger it. Obviously, right now I am set into the right command on my keyboard, and I'll show you how to use that. And it's a hybrid where a short press will turn it on, and a short press again will turn it off. Or if I hold it, it will be as push to talk. As long as I'm holding it, it will record, and once I release, it will stop recording. You can see the other options, push to talk and toggle. And then it will ask you which model to use. I'm using the PowerKit, but if you're on Mac, it will also detect, it can allow you to use Apple Speech or Apple Intelligence, but I prefer to use the PowerKit in my setup. You can continue, it will start download, and then it will ask you to test it. So let's test it out. This is a test of the TypeWhisper, and I'm testing it for YouTube. And I'm going to click end, and you'll see it's processing my words. So that's how you set it up, but I want to show how you can do more than that, because this tool, beyond being very helpful when you want to speak to AI, yes, there are tools that include narration, ability to speak into your tool, for example, Cursor or Codex or Anti-Gravity. They all include now tools that you have the ability to record. Even Cloud Code, there is the /voice command, but if you're on the subscription. If you're not, it's going to be tricky. So that tool allows you to speak to any tool, regardless if it has capabilities. As you saw, it works really well. One of the biggest usage for me beyond being able to speak to it is to transcribe. And that is really cool. And I was surprised how fast it is. So if I'll go to file transcription, you can see I have the ability to transcribe. So let me show you quickly. I'll choose a file. I have an audio file of a video. I'll try to pick. This is a 20 something minute video that I extracted the audio as a WAV form, W-A-V. And now I'm just going to ask it to transcribe that particular file. So I'm going to click transcribe. And again, this is a 20-minute video and it's doing it right now. And it's relatively fast because if you try to do it with Whisper running locally, usually depends on your hardware. It takes a few minutes to do that. And you can see in less than a minute, while I speak, it's doing in the background and it's done. And you can extract this as SRT or VTT. And you can also see the full transcription. And this tool has the ability to do both. As you saw, it's running a local model. And this is the dictionary. And this is really useful because here you can actually include correction terms. For example, when it says one word, for example, I noticed that it says a lot of Claude code. So I wanted to correct text to be Claude code, because sometimes it translates my word Claude as cloud. So I'm just going to save it. So now I have that correction from Claude code, and let's try it. Let's see if it works. Claude code. Yep, it did a good job. So here it is, works exactly as intended. And other things you can do with it, if I go back into the settings, you can create snippets. And here's something I created earlier. For example, I want every time I say hello, it's gonna say yo, 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 what's up? So let's try it. So I'm gonna go here and say hello. So you saw it took so you can create your own keyword or safe word, if you will, to say something and it will expand to whatever text you want it to do. And there's a lot of options which you can do, today's date or today, and it will say today is Wednesday and this is the date. And it's pretty cool, pretty useful if you know what to do with it. Workflows are pretty cool, and this is something I really want to highlight. It's really powerful. One, if your computer is not powerful and it's not great at capturing using a local model, for example. I have a different computer that is running old Intel CPU from 2019, and it's not able to run any of these models. So what I did, I'm using Grok, which is an external, very cheap provider, very fast provider, but of course it's running on the cloud, so it's not the great if you're looking for privacy. But one thing I want to show you here is the cleaned text. But what clean text allow me to do is when you add it, and for example, I do always to trigger it, it will always look for the text and try to fix the grammar and also clean it up if I'm saying weird words. So, and I did a lot of experiments with this to make sure it works. And sometimes the reason I noticed that when I asked a question, for example, I'm asking my coding tool a question, the tool itself answered, the model behind it, the one that cleans the text, answered. So it was a struggle. So then I switched into something more simple where I give him examples and I'm very explicit of don't quote, don't here is your text, because I used to do that as well. So I came up with this prompt. So far so good, and I'll put it in the description if you want to try this prompt as well. And I'll show you how I did that. And to create a new workflow, you click on here, and this is the clean text. It's a built-in functionality that you can use, and you can do translation, email, meeting notes. It's pretty cool and quite impressive for something that is technically free. Once you do that, you create the prompt, and let me kind of show you, hopefully it's going to work right now. So I'm going to try to do recording. I want to go to there, and I'm not sure if I want to go. So that was a very gibberishy talk, right? But you see, it took out the and all the words that were in my text and removed them and put my text clear. So that's what I was looking for. That's something I liked the most about WhisprFlow, and it's available here for free. So that was TypeWhisper. Definitely give it a shot. It's pretty awesome. And here's the license. You can see the information. I'm on the open source version. It's free, but If you are a company and you want to use it for commercial, there are some licenses that you need to use, and you can see the pricing available over here. So check it out, give it a shot. I really recommend it. I'm using it for my personal. It's pretty awesome. And the second tool I want to show you came out last week, and that's from Google. This is specifically for Mac OS. Okay, so right now this feature, speak to screen, is only available for Mac OS. You download it from their website, from the Gemini app, and once you launch it, you'll get this. You sign in with your Google account. Let me just do it quickly. What you can see, as soon as I log in, it presents this notification that they add the ability to write and use your voice. So speak to screen, they call it. And there are two levels of this, and I'll show you what you can do. By default, it uses the function key, as you can see here in the option, but you can definitely change it. So let me click next, and they have the advanced mode where you can speak to a screen. There are some reference files in there, and when you speak, it will take your speech and translate into an action that Gemini can do for you. I disable it because it creates really weird scenarios where I'm trying to do something on my coding screen, translated my ask as if it was for Gemini and not for my coding CLI like Codex. Let's turn it on. So it's enabled, and you can see this available over here. But if you want to set this up, you go into the settings here, and you can see this is my main settings is speak to window. Over here, you can also define the key it will be using. So for example, you can say double tap function key, and you can hold the function key, very similar to what I showed you, the hybrid mode. You can double tap or push to talk. And that's the use reasoning option. As I mentioned, I don't like it. I disable it, but give it a shot. They showed a really cool demo where the person was talking, he had a folder open and his email, and it asked Gemini, it literally using his voice, to create some sort of an email based on the files in that folder, and it did it automatically. And that's one of the features right now that is available with Google Gemini app on your computer, because unlike the cloud version, it has access to your local file system, so it can use that. And hopefully they will enhance it and add some other cool things like MCP skills and so forth, which were they're way behind everyone else. So this is the Gemini. Let's disable it, and I'll quickly show you how to use it. And again, it's going to use the function key. So I'm going to use the function key to dictate. And let me go back into my text note. Okay, so let's try it now. So I'm going to hold the function key. Hi, this is a test of Google. I'm just trying to see if Gemini speak to window works. So that was Gemini and TypeWhisper. I do want to say that though it's not going to be comprehensively covered, but if you're using the GPT app, or used to be Codex, and you subscribe, it also offers the ability to do dictation. And let me quickly show you how to enable that in Codex. And again, you can be in either GPT mode or Codex mode. If you go into the settings, you can see here in voice, you can keep dictation bar visible. And this is where you can use exactly the same thing I showed you with Gemini using Codex. So available for you, it's free, but again, it's not private. Everything you say will be sent to OpenAI, just like the Google. So if you want privacy and when you keep your narration or dictations local, you can use TypeWhisper. So hopefully you found this useful. I encourage you to try it, the TypeWhisper. Give it a shot. It's awesome. Hopefully you'll find it useful. Thank you again for watching all the way, and I'll see you in my next video. Cheers.
AI spotlight illuminating the future of AI.